And we're live. Welcome for another edition of the Virtual IoT Meetup. Not sure who we'll have today, maybe a slightly different crowd, given that in order to accommodate to our speakers' time zone, we're actually going on air way earlier than usually. Our speaker today is actually living in Singapore, which is why, like I think, right over there, it's 5 p.m. right now. It's 11 a.m. in Europe. I'm not sure we have anyone from North America at this time, and I'm actually very excited to have Alex from Bosch Software Innovations. You may have heard about Eclipse Vorto. It's an open source project from the Eclipse IoT community that's been around for a couple of years now, I think, and I'm sure Alex will be able to give you even more accurate timing than I am. And yeah, Alex is going to talk about what's new in Eclipse Vorto land. As always, if you guys have questions, please make sure to ask them while the presentation is on. That's basically the best way to get Alex to answer them, as opposed to take them offline afterwards. So you can engage on the YouTube chat. That's probably the easiest path. And you can also chat with the other people watching, and you can also ask on Twitter if you feel like it. Virtual IoT hashtag on Twitter. Roxanne and myself will be monitoring what's going on there, and we'll make sure to send your questions to Alex towards the end of the presentation. So, without further ado, Alex, a warm welcome from me and Roxanne, and yeah, feel free to start your presentation whenever you'd like.
Yeah, hello. Thank you very much, Benjamin, Roxanne. Thanks for having me here on this call. Yeah, my name is Alex. Good afternoon or good morning to you guys here from Singapore. I'm going to give you a demonstration today on Eclipse Vorto, give you a little bit of an update of what Vorto is if you never have heard about it before, as well as go right into a demo session where I like to show you what the project is able to do. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen. Let me do that. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, this is going to be Vorto and how you can use it for rapid prototyping. So I'm going to first like to start off with what you probably might be wondering what Eclipse Vorto is. Yeah, we've been around for some time already. And this is actually an open source project on the Eclipse Foundation. And we're addressing three major target groups. On the one hand side, the device manufacturers, such as Bosch. I'm working for Bosch, so I can speak for them, but there are many others out there who are the ones who manufacture sensors and stuff like that. They know the devices and the sensors best, so they are the ones who can describe these devices with the Vorto project and store them in a repository in the cloud. So we call them information models. And these information models can then be looked up and used by IoT developers. It's another target group we're focusing on, which can then translate these descriptions into IoT platform source code using different kind of blueprint generators. I'm going to be showing you that along the way in the demo, how that is can be used in order to implement an IoT use case. And we have the target group, the platform providers. They're the ones, just as like Bosch also is with the Bosch IoT Suite, or even different ones like ThingWorx, or they are the ones who create these blueprint generators and help ultimately the IoT developers to integrate their devices in a much easier fashion. So yeah, as you can see here in this picture, We are providing many things already now available in the cloud. So the repository is, the generators infrastructure is in the cloud, and it's including the generators themselves, as well as also new, which I'm going to be talking about or showing it for the very first time here in this webinar, is the web editor. So we had initially started off with having an Eclipse toolset. Within Eclipse, you need to install. We still have that. But on the other hand, we have, of course, the web editor, which is a web-based, full-fledged web-based editor to describe devices. So I'm going to be showing you that as well. So this is one going to be launched in July. So I'm giving you a first sneak preview of that. Yeah, if we say information models, what does this actually mean? What these device manufacturers can actually create, describe? So let's take, for example, here like a camera, right? There's a camera information model, and these ones are can be described or broken down into different kind of function blocks. These function blocks are reusable components. And also managed in the repository. So a camera is, in this scenario, can be located. So it has a function block location. It has a camera functionality, motion detector. You can think of many other ones. And every different kind of functionality is broken down and described in terms of function blocks. And they can be reused. Let's say a car can also be located. So it can also then use the location function block as well to be assembled with. So it's an abstract representation of these real-time objects, and we provide a tooling, like I mentioned.
All right, it looks like we just lost Alex. So let's see. Hopefully, we'll come back in just a second. So thanks everyone for your patience. Here's some cats for you to chew on until hopefully Alex comes back. Really sorry about that. I think actually for those who've been paying attention, today is Eclipse Oxygen release date, our yearly Eclipse release, and we've been actually organizing some webinars in the past couple of days, and Google Hangouts/YouTube has been acting on this, so it's only not a first over the past couple of days. Yeah, fingers crossed this will be fixed shortly. Thanks again. Welcome back, Alex. Can you hear us? Alex? Alex is gone. So let's give this a couple more minutes. If this doesn't work, unfortunately, we'll have to call it a day, and we'll be recording the session with Alex offline, and you guys will be able to tune in on YouTube later on. So Alex,
Hello.
Hey,
hello.
Go back.
Oh, sorry for this technical issue. I'm not sure how long I've been away.
Quite a long time. I would say 4 or 5 minutes, but it's all right. I had tips for our watchers, so they actually everyone stayed as far as I can see. So if you don't mind coming back, and it's actually too bad that you didn't realize that you were gone. So can you maybe put back your slides, and we can go back to where we left.
I can share my screen again.
Yeah.
Okay. Be able to see it now, my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I hope maybe I'll leave that here in this setup. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you, that we're going to implement this now here in this demo with Eclipse Vorto and the Eclipse IoT stack, as well as the Bosch IoT Suite. So we're taking, for this demo case, a Bosch device, which is a Bosch laser measurement device from Power Tools. This is able to, with laser technology, measure the distance. So we're going to take that and send the data. It's basically capable of Bluetooth. So in order to translate the Bluetooth signal and data push it into the cloud, we're using Eclipse Cura for that, Eclipse Cura 3. On the backend side, on the cloud side, we're using the digital twin technology Bosch IoT Things, which is actually the Bosch powered by the Eclipse Ditto project, which is now ongoing in the initial contribution phase, going to be contributed soon. And this is basically the Bosch IoT Things, the scalable version, runnable version in the cloud, in order to put the state of the GLM into the database. And then we can use this information to visualize this in a GLM dashboard. The Bosch, this is the GLM, the distance measurement device is called GLM. So we're going to visualize this information. And last but not least, have a way with using the Alexa service of Amazon to request the data. Let's say here, what's the distance? And we'll be able to retrieve that out from the Bosch IoT Things Ditto service. So it's quite a lot of stuff. So let's break them down into different kind of processes steps. So the first thing is where I would like to show you is to create the actual information model. So we're going to describe the functionality. So like I said, it's going to be broken down into function blocks. So this measurement device has a distance sensor as well as an inclination sensor, and with different properties. And after what we have done, when we have described this, can publish this in the second step to the Vorto repository. So let's do exactly that. So I go into my Vorto developer here, which is the new web-based way to, I hope you can see that. So you have to first log in with your GitHub account. And once you have a GitHub account, you can actually go to it. Right now, it's the start of my local system, but we're going to be launching it soon, like I said. So now you can start here with a new project. Let's call it Virtual IoT Meetup. And then you can already see here that I can create new models here. In this case, I would like to create a new model, an information model, which is the Bosch GLM device. Yeah. I can give it some kind of namespace here, since it's from Bosch. I can use it here and create it. So once it's here, you can see it's an editor. This whole editor is powered by Eclipse Xtext. So Xtext is another Eclipse project with lets you define DSLs. So that's exactly what we did in Vorto here. And now you can go and say, I would like to define my distance sensor. So this is a function block. So I can do that here. Say, I'd like to distance sensor. I'll just leave that out for the simplicity reasons, the namespace. So here you can now go ahead and define using auto-completion what the characteristics are. So here you say the actual distance as here. We even define, let's say, it can up to 100 meters, this distance. So we can define here a constraint that the max can also ultimately be 100. Optionally, this device is also able to tell me what the unit is, right? The sensor unit, for example, in this case. So if it's inches or meters or so. So once I have that, I can save it. I can go into my Bosch GLM, which I just modeled, and drag that into here my my Bosch GLM function log, information model. Sorry. Like we said, it also has inclination, so I can look up in my Vorto repository to find an incline sensor. Voila, I see one. So I can have a look at it here with the link goes me to the Vorto repository to find out more info about it. And if I like it, I can just go and import it and have it here in my device. Last but not least, I am able to publish it to the Vorto repository and have it there with the function blocks I just modeled. I already did this beforehand, so I already even gave it a little picture here, so I can upload a picture. And this is basically the Bosch GLM information model. Okay. Let's go back and have a look at the second step. Second step is, now that we have modeled it, we would like to now register it. So register in the Bosch IoT Suite using the Bosch IoT Developer Console. So we'd like to pre-commission it, so that not everyone can. We're really creating an instance and assigning that instance with the permissions that not everyone can read or write. So only me as a user so can do that. And I can do that using Developer Console. And after I've done that, an instance in Bosch IoT Things, Eclipse Ditto, is available and can be used and requested and put data into, and etc. Okay, let me show that to you. I have here the Developer Console open. The credentials you can request via the Bosch IoT Suite platform team, so you can get your own kind of test tenant and try it out and see. So I did exactly that here with a test account. And as you can see, I've already played around with some other devices here with an XDK. Now I can go ahead and connect a new thing. So you can see here, I can browse through the thing type / the Vorto models, right? So I just model the GLM, so I can find it here. Find the GLM, which has all this information, which I like to connect now, based on this template or information model, and define which connector I would like to use it for. In this case, I would like to connect it to the HTTP. And also, I would like to give it a certain name. I already done that because I have some pre-configured stuff, so I don't want to mess around with that. So I give it already the name here. Can I any name, any technical ID of the device itself. So once it's done, you register this from this Vorto information model in the Bosch IoT Suite. So now this thing is available. It's bootstrapped. It's basically provisioned in the Bosch IoT Suite using the Vorto information model. And you can see already the data here, which you can see out of them that's already pre-defined here, with initialized with the standard values. And now you're able to send and read and write data. Okay. Any questions so far, maybe to this point?
There is one actually from Heinz. For the web editor, the web DSL editor, is it based on the language server protocol?
I do not quite understand that question, sorry. Language server protocol.
The language server protocol is this new technology that allows to basically have all the editing related features like auto-completion, syntax, highlighting, etc., backed by a backend server, so that to basically make the actual editor front end much more lightweight. So it is something that's been leveraged as part of the work you've done on the editor.
Yeah. So in this case, we're fully supporting the functionality of whatever Xtext provides you in the Eclipse environment. That has been since 2.9, I think, Xtext already been supported even in the web. So we defined the schema, the language which we had initially in Eclipse, fully covered in the web editor. So you can use all the schema and grammar in the web editor as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
And there's no other questions
Okay.
at this point, but thanks Alex for posing there. To everyone watching, please feel free to just like Heinz and comment on the chat or on Twitter.
Okay. So now that we have the model to device, we have an instance in the Bosch IoT Suite and Bosch IoT things available, we can go to the next step. We can now go ahead and say, I would like to build a web application out of this. So I would now, where I can show and visualize the data in a nice UI graphical way. So we are using, Vorto provides a web dashboard generator, which is fairly new compared to the previous versions, which was still supported, but this one is more advanced. So it creates a Spring Boot app and visualizing data here in UI widgets, supporting different kind of UI widgets, maps for location, function blocks, gauges, bar charts, where, et cetera. So it also provides a complete REST API, as well as a documentation with Swagger with it. You can optionally
All right, so this is where kittens come back into play, unfortunately. So by the way, for anyone watching, if you guys have any recommendations on, we quite like YouTube, or at least we think we do, at least until today. Well, yeah, it basically allows for live stream and live chat, etc. But it looks like it's becoming less and less stable. So back to some kittens. There's actually some activity on the chat, and there's still many of you guys watching live. So I think I actually have a quick question for you, or two. First is, like, it's great that I have your attention, well, except for the cats, I guess, and the kittens. One is what it is you guys would like to see as future topics for the Virtual IoT Meetup. Like, we'd like to see more hardware-related topics, more cloud server-side kind of focused talks. Is this something else? More business-oriented presentations, like quite frankly, until today, we've been very developer-centric, I believe, and very technology-focused. But please comment on that. Another thing that I wanted to ask, and that's question number 2, is would it make sense once in a while if we were to run a virtual IoT meetup, which we could call something like office hours or something, where basically Roxanne and I and maybe my colleague Ian could join as well, and with basically no other topic than just chatting with you guys and answering any questions, comments you may have, like talking about maybe what's been in the news recently, or answer any questions you may have regarding a particular Eclipse IoT technology, particular IoT topic. And would it be useful to have something like that? Like, even should there be any of you guys who would like to do short presentations, like very informal presentations, I'm sure we could loop you in and kind of invite you in the YouTube chat as well, if you think that makes sense. So, well, I think Alex is on his way back, hopefully. But yeah, food for thoughts. So if you can comment on the YouTube chat and share your thoughts, that'd be great. Feel free also to just ping us and send us emails. Yeah, the eclipse.org would be good. So I see that Alex is back, and also Ricky is commenting on what I was just saying. So Alex, I'm glad you're back. I was trying to entertain people with gifts. Hopefully I succeeded. No one left yet. All right, do you want to try and resume your demo? And there was a question actually, but hopefully you will be getting there. The question was around the communication between the device that you're showing and the backend, basically the dashboard. Which gateway, which protocol is used in this particular setup?
Oh, okay. So yeah, yes. Sorry about that. Welcome here to the communication problem. So yeah, the protocol technology behind here, the Bosch IoT things and the dashboard is WebSocket. So it's basically containing an HTTP. So WebSockets are sending the data and pushing it to the dashboard here. Yeah, and that's basically the technology. Maybe that answers the question. Okay, then let me show that. I think I'm not sure if you had seen that just now. So I can go ahead and choose the information model, GLM, and activate the specific components I would like to generate, the add-ons, and click the generate button to actually generate the Spring Boot app for the GLM. So I've done and imported this. It's a complete Maven project. So you can really easily import it here, and it will create here the specific Java application. So let me start this up, and you can just use the Spring Boot run. It has here an authentication mechanism. That's the authentication that you would get from Bosch IoT platform team or to authenticate there. Okay. So, okay, that's wrong. Bear with me. So now it already sees it already has found a device here from Bosch IoT things. So we retrieved that using HTTP. It already has the description here, or the data and the image from Vorto. And you can see here that it already has also the UI elements that has been modeled as a mapping file of Vorto, and then to map to UI elements. So we also provide Swagger. It has been created here, Swagger API. You can go and try it out immediately to see like the data which is coming from things here with the specific schema that you would directly recognize again if you from the information model we had created initially. So it's a strong typed REST interface here. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill this with life, so to speak. Go ahead and test the app, right? Usually you would not have the device on hand, and you would go ahead and would like to test your behavior of the application based on this template. Therefore, we provide also from an information model a simulator which can be created and generated in order to send test data out to the thing instance and be pushed to this dashboard just to verify if everything works out, if your business logic in your dashboard works as expected. I'm going to do exactly that. I can go back to my information model here and click on the Bosch IoT Suite. I can see here my device simulator. I can say, oh, it creates the necessary functionality, and I can click generate in order to generate me this bundle. That bundle I can also once again import very easily into my Eclipse using Maven importers, and with configuring the secure parts, which is the certificate or stuff like that, in order to communicate in a secure fashion to the backend cloud Bosch IoT Suite. After having that done, I can go ahead and start this app. And we should be able to see data coming into my web application in a minute.
So is the device simulator part of open source Eclipse Vorto?
Yes.
Or?
Yes. Yeah. The simulator is also part of the open source project, so you can download it. Every generator I'm talking about now in this demo is actually freely available as open source.
For any Eclipse Vorto information model, one can generate a simulator.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you can see here the data that has been created here with, or it's being sent data here. Basically, it's loading a little bit. I think so you can see that has been working. So we can go ahead, and our application works now as expected. So I can, the backend developer is happy. So he's like, he can verify that his behavior is all good. So in the meantime, the embedded developers, the ones who connect the device actually to the cloud. As I said, we're going to use Eclipse Cura for that. So here we have Eclipse Cura, also blueprint generator, which basically creates a Bluetooth LE Cura template for this device, for this information model, as well as an abstract strong type API, which you can use with a distance sensor, inclination sensor object, so you can really work with that model rather than have a generic model, as well as it basically connects the data, retrieves it, and maps it, and sends it out to the integrator here, in this case, Bosch IoT Suite, to the backend. So it's a full OSGI bundle within Cura. So let me show you that. I can go here into my Bosch GLM information model as well, and I find here my Eclipse Cura generator. I can choose a driver here. So in this case, we're supporting at the moment Bluetooth LE. we have others coming up because Cura platform, the Eclipse Cura supports many others drivers. Basically, we can add this all one in, and we also support the cloud platform connector here in Bosch IoT Suite in order to send the data to. So you can go ahead and generate that bundle as well and import it into my Eclipse. I will let me switch my workspace here because this is with the Cura
I think we'll have to record another version of that webinar. Like it's actually great stuff, and I'm learning a lot about Eclipse Vorto, but it's just, yeah, too bad. Hopefully this one was a short one. Alex, are you back already? All right, next time. Any questions at this point from you guys? Well, hopefully Alex will be back to answer them, but at least you can ask, right? Welcome
Hello?
back. So this one was a short one, Alex. You were gone for only 20 seconds or so. So do you want to resume your Eclipse Cura demo?
Yeah,
And
I think that was just
for you, Alex, and for everyone watching, like Alex, if you want at some point in the near future to record another version, more streamlined version of that very same presentation, maybe we can plan on doing that, or we can also certainly do some editing for people watching the replay to make sure there's no kittens in there. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll chat
That
about
will be great. Yeah, sorry about that. As I think there's just a long line until Singapore. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah. So yeah, I think in the meantime, this just basically loaded up my other Eclipse instance with Cura loaded with the emulator. So I'm not sure if you had seen the package which I had assembled and the download, the generator and the download archive. So basically, just to show that quickly again, here in the Vorto, I can, for the GLM, I can specifically say I would like to now generate a Cura bundle with this blueprint generator here with Bluetooth enabled and the backend infrastructure, which basically then sends the data from Bluetooth, converts it into the format which the Bosch IoT Suite requires in a sense. So that's what I did. I generated this and imported this here into my other workspace with Eclipse, with the target definition of Cura. So as you can see, it creates a Bluetooth functionality, generates a Bluetooth functionality for the GLM. Basically, the Finder, which is a Cura configurable application for my distance sensor and inclination sensor. It finds all the devices, and whenever it found some GLM device, it creates an instance here of this GLM device, which the user would have to additionally implement. He would have to implement here certain to-dos. Let me scroll to this in a minute here. Maybe that, not sure if it comes out good. But here, for example, the distance sensor, reading the distance sensor value. So here you would go ahead and using Cura Bluetooth get service to read the characteristic of the distance sensor from the GLM and populate my distance sensor object to return it. That's what I would have to do. So once this is done, the bundle can be loaded. I can do that here with the emulator. Cura provides a nice feature and for Linux and Mac to provide here to start up an emulator, and loads basically the OSGI bundles and be able to configure them as also in the web interface. So let me do that. So in the meantime, I can go ahead and refresh this. This is basically the Cura admin. So once it's loaded, we'll be able to see, here you go, the services which are there. So also you will find here the Bosch GLM Bluetooth Finder, which has been generated, where you can define here the solution ID, which is the ID to identify your solution, your tenant, so to speak, in the backend, in the cloud backend. You can override this. The access point here, the address. So WebSockets I mentioned earlier is something that you can communicate with, as well as other stuff, scan time when you want to scan the Bluetooth device, and as well as if you want to enable this in sensor or disable the sensor. And once you've enabled it, it will be able to scan for the GLM and send the data in the specific interval period to the Bosch IoT Suite. Okay. Any questions to this?
So there is, it may be more of a general question, but this is from Ricky, and is asking if you can give some daily scenarios of like the kind of possibilities for people to use Eclipse Vorto. And I think, I mean, maybe I will slightly rephrase it, and hopefully this will keep the original intention of Ricky. But just in general, how are people expected to use Vorto in their sort of development cycle? Is this more for like bootstrapping and prototyping the overall end-to-end solution, or do you see also use cases where people use Vorto sort of on an ongoing basis to effectively implement the wall solution?
Yeah, very good question. So the intention for Vorto can be multifold, or use case can be multifold. This specifically is dealing with the rapid prototyping. So yeah, it's basically with without starting on the green field where you basically overwhelmed with a lot of technologies and platforms and stuff like that. So you basically Vorto could help you in this first initial phase to bootstrap, to plumb a lot of technologies together to get something working very fast and quickly. And that's one very, and that's what we're also here, but I'm demoing in a sense to provide that. It's not a full code generation infrastructure, which round tripping, reverse engineering stuff. So that's not what Vorto is meant to do. So it's really on more on the first time template blueprint code to get started quickly. I mentioned earlier in other use cases that can be used for as well during, not just for rapid development or rapid prototyping. It's, for example, for the auto detection. So you can use Vorto library to discover devices with their technical IDs and look them up in information model to find its metadata at runtime and show that to the user. Say like, hey, this is this device that has this and this capability, and you can now eventually register this device in the backend to with a certain functionality. You would have to activate something in the backend because you had this kind of functionality. So this is all about like certain auto discovery. So there are many different use cases which exist.
Okay, thank you.
And yeah. So another, once we have now this Cura, which application running to send the actual device data from the GLM device, from this laser measurement device to the cloud, so we can make sure that this data actually ends up in our backend, right? So it only sends the data in the expected format complying with the Vorto information model. So we're now in this step here, we're adding even voice control to it. So we can say, hey, get me this information, give me this distance, maybe in voicing it out using voice command service. For that, Vorto provides also a skill set generator, which creates the Lambda function for Node.js, as well as the interaction model for this information model to request data, in this case, the distance or inclination data from Bosch IoT things. So you can ask, for example, what's the distance, and it'll be able to respond with the data it comes from Bosch IoT.
All right, I think this is where we will start giving up on YouTube. Well, I'm sure Alex will be back, but yeah, we're sort of running out of time. Should you have any questions, please ask them. That'd be there's still time for sure, and we can also answer them offline. But yeah, it's really a pity. Sorry about that. Yeah, like we said, I'm pretty sure we will be working on doing an offline recording of this particular session, which was very hectic, unfortunately. What else? Like, we'll be back August the 2nd for another Virtual IoT Meetup on Eclipse Unite. So this will be going even more into industrial IoT field, given that Eclipse Unite is basically a technology for managing production performance data for industrial machines and for industrial equipment. So we'll be back with that. Like I was saying earlier, should you have any suggestions of topics you would like to get covered, that would be good. Questions from Ganes, and how do I get invite to the IoT virtual meetup? I'm not sure what you actually mean. We can sort that out on the chat. You can certainly go to meetup.com and basically RSVP to our upcoming sessions, and you will get notifications and such. So that's probably the best course of action. There you go. You have a link now. And a question from Ricky. Let's see if Alex is back for answering that one. How much code is there to code by yourself? Like most of the code is generated. That's correct. So it's basically all of the code that I will give a shot at answering that one. Yeah, the Vorto code generators can take care of the generic part, whatever is not related to an actual device. Like for the example that Alex was going through, the code generator for the Bluetooth driver, there's lots of plumbing when it comes to triggering the discovery APIs from Eclipse Core, etc. But for example, knowing exactly what's the Bluetooth characteristic that correspond to a particular device, that's device specific, and so is for example, the data conversion, stuff like that. So that's the kind of code you would have to write, right? So let's see. I think Alex is back. Hopefully.
Hello.
Yes, welcome back, Alex. So hello. I think, can you hear us? And now he can't even hear us. Okay, so we're going to wrap things up, and we'll chat with Alex offline to figure out the best course of action. Another great suggestion from Ganesen on future topics. So right now we have someone interested in learning more about what Amazon does in the IoT field. So we'll try and get someone from AWS to do a webinar for us. Another question or suggestion is around using drones and bridging drones to IoT, and maybe by means of Eclipse IoT. Maybe I can take a stab at that one. I'm actually working on some tutorials on how to hook up drones to MQTT and such. We'll see. So in any case, I think that's a wrap for today. Really sorry for all the messy logistics. Thanks for your patience, though. we'll be back. So we'll see if we can do something with that particular recording, today's recording, or if we'll do another one. So yeah, unfortunately, that's it for today. Thanks again for joining. Stay tuned for future meetups on meetup.com or on YouTube. Thanks very much. Bye.